Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a foundation review for the new-ish, it's been out for a little while, but it's still kind of new. It's the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. So throughout my review, I will show you a little demo, but for now, I'm going to jump straight in with the review. And just to quickly mention, I have filmed this makeup look right here, so keep your eyes peeled for it. Anyway, onto the foundation. So this foundation comes in 24 shades, which I think is friggin' amazing for a drugstore brand to bring out a foundation with that many shades. The shades range from like literally, it's basically white as hell, to a really dark foundation shade. So if you needed to mix and match, you totally could do that. I feel like as a makeup artist, if you are someone that is starting up your kit on a budget and you wanted a bunch of foundation shades, then I think NYX is amazing, especially if you wanted like a really light one and a really dark one to like mix in with other foundations that you may have. I just think it's such a great idea. It's so versatile and it's for everyone. So yeah, props to NYX for that. To touch on the price, it is £14. So I think it's slightly a little bit more than your usual drugstore foundation. Usually I think for drugstore foundations, I tend to pay between like £10, like sometimes £7.99, like £10 up to £12, so it's £14. But I feel like NYX is a little bit up there in terms of drugstore, so it can get away with a slightly higher price. But yeah, any more than £14, it would be pushing it, but £14 is good. So for £14, you get 13 mils of foundation, and as for the bottle, it comes in a really nice glass bottle with a dropper, of course, hence the name, Total Control Drop Foundation. The only thing with having a glass bottle in your kit is just the fear of something smashing or breaking, but that goes for any glass bottle foundation, I think. So yeah, the good thing about this is that it is quite a small bottle, so if you wanted to travel with something, then this would be a great one to do that with because of size. It wouldn't take up too much space in your makeup bag or even in your makeup kit. Now the whole purpose of this drop foundation, having a dropper, is basically you can kind of be in control of the amount of coverage that you want. So it's like an all-in-one foundation. So if you wanted a really nice light sheer coverage, you could do that. Medium, you can do it, and full coverage. So that is basically what they're saying that you can do with the drop foundation. So maybe 1 to 2 drops for a light coverage, 2 to 3 for medium, and maybe 3 to 4 for full coverage foundation. I generally like to wear my foundation medium to full coverage, more so on the full coverage side, just because I just prefer it that way. It covers up what I need it to cover up. So I really wanted to test this out and see if it could actually give me that full coverage that I wanted. I think this is definitely a buildable foundation. Definitely is one of those ones where you are in control of your coverage and the drops. I find that the foundation is very highly pigmented. So yeah, you do really want to be careful with how much you're using, especially if you want a light coverage foundation. I know when I first tried this, I thought, it's not gonna be that much, you know? So I like went crazy with dropping it everywhere all over my face. And I was like, whoa, this is major full coverage. So you kind of don't have to use as much as you would think you'd need to use to get a medium to full coverage, which is a really good thing because it just means you're using less of the foundation, considering you only get 13 mils, whereas in a normal foundation, say a high-end foundation, you would get 30 mils for like 20 something pounds. I think this would still go a long way and last you a long enough time because it is so highly pigmented if you're using it correctly. Now this foundation claims to be a velvety matte finish. I can agree that it definitely does give you a velvety matte type of finish. It does make your skin look so smooth and kind of blurred, and no matter if you've gone full coverage or not, you don't end up looking cakey whatsoever. So it does give you that velvety look, but then keeping your oils at bay and making you look super matte without the cakiness. I've recently been struggling with an oily T-zone, and I find that when I put this foundation on, it actually does last all day. Even foundations that used to last all day for me, they're not really doing it for me that much anymore because of my oily T-zone. Whereas this, I feel like if I put it on, I kind of can trust it to stay put. Now I do use a primer, and I use the NYX Angel Veil Primer because I feel like if I was going to use a NYX foundation, I wanted to use a NYX primer. And besides from this foundation, I do actually love that primer. But yeah, when I pair them two together, they work so beautifully because that primer gives you like a really nice soft kind of base to work with. And then when you go in with like this velvety matte finish foundation, it just is an absolute dream and it really does stay put. As for shade, I know this foundation comes in 24 shades and you would think that I would find like a perfect match from 24 shades, but I actually have to mix 2 foundation shades to get it spot on. So I am wearing it right now, and I promise you I have tried to use just one foundation. If I've got any clips of me trying to put on like one of the shades of the 2 that I feel match me, yeah, you'll notice it's just not quite right. But when I mix these 2 shades right here, I find that I get the most perfect match, and it just blends really nicely into my neck, into my skin, and it just looks right. So I haven't even put any of my face powder on today or anything like that because I want you to be able to see the foundation itself. I have contoured, but I used a darker shade of foundation to do that. So yeah, I've used 3 altogether. But yeah, I didn't want to put my face powder because I didn't want it to alter the shade of it whatsoever, and I didn't want to change up the finish of the foundation either. So this is literally what it looks like when I've done all of my makeup, you know, highlight, contour, everything. I've done no baking, no powder, no nothing like that, because yeah, like I said, I want you to see what the foundation actually looks like and the shade. So as a reference, I'm usually an NC42 in MAC. However, although I've got a yellow undertone to my skin, it's like yellow neutral, so there's that yellow goldenness, but I'm not like orangey, which I find NC42 from MAC is still quite yellow, and so is this caramel. So what I like to do is I like to mix it with Classic Tan. So I mix these 2 shades and it works like a dream. Now I haven't tried the really light foundations or the really dark ones. I tried these kind of like medium toned ones because I was trying to find my shade, and I found that all of them seem to be like quite warm. Like the yellow ones were really yellow, and then the pink ones they weren't really pink, but they just didn't suit me. So I did have to go with the ones that have like the yellow undertone because that does suit me the best. But like I said, I had to mix 2 shades to get the right one. So I'd just be a little bit wary of it possibly looking too yellow if you don't get the right shade. I definitely think you need to see what these look like on your skin, and like really try it out before you buy it or something like that, because I would look at a bottle when I got them and I was like, yeah, that like caramel, this looks fine, like this looks like it will match me, or even Classic Tan looks like it will match me. But no, like when you put it on and then when it dries, it doesn't oxidize, but it just settles and it's just not the right shade. So I would definitely try it out, try it before you buy it, and you should do that with any foundation, guys. Just to quickly mention, I know I said I contoured with the foundation today. I used the shade Deep Rich, and this is shade 20, and for me this was the most beautiful and perfect cream contour. I usually spend ages blending out a cream contour and it's such a pain in the ass to work with, but this was so easy. It like blended out so quick. It gave me like the perfect kind of depth and shade that I like. So not too ashy, not too warm. It was so perfect. So if you want to like cream contour using the foundation and you're around my shade, then number 20 Deep Rich is beautiful. Now NYX came out with a beauty sponge and a brush with this foundation, and mine is so dirty because I just used it to put it on. I used this to apply my foundation, blend out the contour, also concealer, anything like that. It's a really good sponge for something so affordable. NYX always blows me away because it's so good. I really like this sponge because once it's like damp, it goes really nice and big. It's still quite like bouncy. What I also really like about this is this flat surface on the side here, because it's really nice to get under the eyes with, or when you want to blend a cream contour. It's just a really good sponge to work with. And then the brush they have is like this kabuki type brush, but the hairs are really nice and densely packed in, but then they're like nice and soft and like got a lot of movement at the top, if that makes sense. I really like how this evenly applies it. It gives you good coverage. You can stipple with it. It's just so soft. Also really lovely brush to work with, especially with this foundation. So guys, I'm giving this foundation a big thumbs up from me. I feel like it is very long wearing. It's definitely a foundation that I feel suits most skin tones. If you're super dry, maybe I would use a little bit of moisturizer before you apply it. But if you're normal to combination to oily, it's going to work so beautifully for you. Just make sure you prime and powder if you need to. But yeah, I really like this foundation, especially for £14. I think it's an absolute winner, and the brush and the sponge even better. I just love the whole thing. Yeah, I'm really happy with this foundation, hence why I've been using it in tutorials and things like that. So I'd actually love to know if you've tried this foundation and if it works for you. I love knowing if something doesn't work for some people, or if it has and what you use it with. I just find it really interesting just to know. So do let me know in the comment section if you have tried it. Also give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed my review, and if you've got any questions, leave them down below too. And please don't forget to subscribe for more of my videos, and you can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Everything will be linked down below for you. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye.